Into the NBA playoffs. Man, the NBA playoff has been dope. It's amazing how they've pulled this whole bubble thing off. It's amazing, like just everything that's happened. Like we've had basketball literally for like the last 60 days, every day, except for the few days the players took a stance against what happened in Milwaukee. But every day we've almost had basketball, and it's been amazing, man. My Heat are doing good, so I'm not mad at this. This is exciting playoffs. But let's talk Clippers. The Clippers gon' clip. Oh my God. So the Clippers choked to the Denver Nuggets in a 7-game series. Kawhi and Paul George pretty much like just didn't play. Like they didn't want to be there. They scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. Just choked. Like I remember when the Paul George trade happened. I mean, I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is dope. The Clippers gonna really put up a Kawhi, Paul George, but I don't know, man. Paul George, it has not been a good year for Paul George, man. And if you know the whole scenario of Paul George and his person he currently has a baby with, and what happened between him and his ex-girlfriend, that who's Austin Rivers' current wife, since that whole series versus Dallas, and you can hear like Austin Rivers clearly like taking it to Paul George. It's one thing if you're dating my ex. It's a whole nother thing. We're playing basketball and you're trying to like Austin Rivers was making this personal. Like at one point he even called him a bitch ass nigga. Like that's a whole different like that's personal. That's not basketball no more. Austin Rivers and Dallas was really taking it to them. So Paul George has been pretty much saying Paul George has been out of this playoff a long time. He's obviously said he's dealing with a mental, like, of being in a bubble, like just the whole psychology of being in a bubble away from your family. That's obviously affected him. But other than that, man, the guy just wasn't playing. Like Paul George didn't feel like Paul George. He was shooting shots off backboards. He was like getting crossed over, buzzer beaters hit on him. Like he was getting roasted on by Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum all on Twitter. Like Poor Jess is excited to be out the bubble, man. He ain't want no smoke. He ain't want nothing. So the Clippers just choked this away. Speaking of choke, let's do this. I want to, you know, this choke job was so like I want to rank the top 5 choke job recently. Like I'm not saying this is the top 5 choke job in sports history or any of that. I'm just saying this is what I think has been like top 5 like choke job I've seen recently. Like teams just choking everything away. I think I have a compelling list. Let's check this out. Let's see you. Number 5. I've got Golden State Warriors. You remember the 2016 Golden State Warriors team? Like that team choked. It was up 3-1, just like the Clippers was up 3-1. Now it's different, and there's a reason I have them at number 5 and not any higher. It's a difference when you choke or when a dominant player like dominates and take game over. It's a difference. Sometimes there's nothing you could do about that. I don't think LeBron necessarily took that series over. Now he did play fantastic down the line, and we saw some things from him that really show like, oh, he really wanted it. Obviously Draymond missed game 5, but that's your fault, man. I don't care if you get suspended or not. Find a way to be there for your team when they need you. So, but Golden State just choked that. Like they were up 3-1. And the reason this is a choke for me because they won 73 games. When you win 73 games, that's the most a team has ever won in a regular season. When you win 73 games, the expectations are higher. So when you come up in the finals and you take a 3-1 series and we're like thinking how we're gonna coronate you as like the greatest NBA team that's ever lived. You guys won 73 games. You almost like swept your way through the playoff. No, I mean they were down to Golden State 3. I mean they were down to Oklahoma 3-1 also, but they came back from that and then they choked the same way the Clippers did. We're gonna keep talking about the Clippers because that was just disappointing. You choked to a Denver Nuggets team with a wait Jokic. Like, come on, bro. Have you seen pictures of Jokic when he was a baby? I can't respect that. But let's get back to Golden State. You choked a series up 3-1 after a 73 win season, and you lost a championship. You could have won 4 championships in a row, and you ended up choking one of them. And for that, I've got to, like, you've got to be on this list. I know LeBron dominated and he took over the series and really, like, but somehow I've got to find a way to put you on the list after winning 73 games and not being able to close one game down, not being able to win one more game to win a championship. Number 4, the 2018 Houston Rockets. Yes. That team, they lost to Golden State, right? So Golden State was the choker and the last number 5. Now they're the one, like, causing another team to choke. But yes, the 2018 Houston Rockets, they were up 3-1 on Golden State, like a chance to win, like, beat a team with legitimately 3 Hall of Famers, 4 Hall of Famers, actually almost 5 Hall of Famers if we're counting Andre Iguodala as a Hall of Famer, and if we're counting Draymond Green as a Hall of Famer, almost 4 or 5 Hall of Famers. And I know, like I said, it's hard when when I say you're like when a dominant player takes over, but I don't think a dominant player took over that series. Yeah, it was a better team, but when you miss 27 threes in a row, like 27 threes, that shows that you weren't smart enough to like stop attempting. Like after I miss a few threes, I'm like, okay, let me take it to the rack, let me do something else. I mean, but 27 threes in a row, like you're choking. And, James Harden, I could have put James Harden on this list like 3 different times, but we'll just keep him at number 4. When you miss 27 threes, Chris Paul got hurt one game, but he still was available the other 2 games. And just James Harden. So he continually missed threes. He was not attacking the rim. He was getting blown by. So, I've got to find a way to put you on here. So 2018 Houston Rockets. And number 3, the 2020 Clippers. Yes, the Clippers going to clip. I can't believe the Clippers found a way to choke this. 3-1, and you lose to a team without a dominant player. I'm sorry. Jokic is not dominant. I'm not scared of Jamal Murray. It is what it is. He's been playing fantastic. Both of them has been playing wonderful, but I'm not scared of Jamal Murray, and I'm not scared of Jokic. And when you lose to a team with no, like, I don't think there's a Hall of Famer on that team. It is what it is. I don't think there's not a Hall of Famer on that team as of now. And you really, and potentially you definitely, Kawhi Leonard's a Hall of Famer. Paul George is still up to debate. If his career keep going the way it is right now, he might not. But that's a chance Paul George makes it into the Hall of Fame. But when you lose to a team with no legit dominant player, you were up 3-1. There was championship expectation on you. You have the last year reigning finals MVP. We're always saying all these wonderful things about Kawhi, about how he could potentially lead 3 teams to 3 different championships. He might be the GOAT. He might be the best player in the league. And Kawhi just choked. Like, he didn't want no part of it. He scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. Like, I'm sorry. If I'm going to go down, if the ship gonna sink, it gonna go down with me. Like, I'm gonna keep shooting. Like, there's no way I scored 0 points in the fourth quarter of like a playoff game, elimination game, game 7 on the line against the Denver Nuggets. I'm sorry, I am not losing to Jokic and Jamal Murray when I have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. That is unacceptable. That should not happen. And if you do that, especially if you were up 3-1 and you lose that series, you deserve to be on this list. So that's the number 3 choke job. And number 2, it hurts me to do this because, this is my team also. So this 2011 LeBron. And this does not go to the Heat. This goes specifically to LeBron. Yes, LeBron, you are the number 2 choke job in recent history that I remember. Legitimately. 2011, wonderful year, man. We get LeBron. It's an exciting time in Heat franchise history. I was unbearable. If you knew me as a friend, I'm sorry. I apologize for all them things I was talking. I was reckless with the mouth when we got LeBron as far as expectation and what we were going to do to the league. Not 6, not 7, not 8. You get it, man. We get up against Dallas. And I'm like, man, it's an easy championship. It's not even Kobe. It's not Team Duncan. We got Dirk Nowitzki on the other side. We've already beaten them once, 2006. This should be easy. I mean, we have LeBron. We have D-Wade. And honestly, D-Wade was playing fantastic that year. D-Wade was awesome, man. D-Wade, I know the injury started to bug him down later on and stuff, but that year, D-Wade was healthy. D-Wade was balling out. D-Wade had just came off of that, arguably one of his best year, was just like 08, 09, when he should have been like the league MVP, I thought. D-Wade was just wonderful that year. And we have LeBron, like, just choking versus J.J. Barea. Like, J.J. Barea was posting LeBron up. J.J. Barea was taking LeBron to the rack. Like, oh my God, we couldn't stop Dirk Nowitzki. He was falling back on one leg, shooting jumpers all the way. It was crazy. But yes, 2011 LeBron, I'm sorry, LeBron, you choked that finals, and I know you made it up, and it's no love lost. It is what it is. Good luck to LA, but LeBron, you choked 2011, and for that, I've got to give you number two on this list, man. It could have been number one, but I'm petty enough to where you lucky I didn't put you number one. But number one, come here, Saints fans. Come get a hug. The number one choke job goes to the New Orleans Saints in the 2017 NFC not championship, the wild card game. Yes, the Saints. And I know the Vikings were the home team, so how do you choke on it? But listen, when you're up and it's the last play of the game in the playoff, and you have a chance to make a simple tackle, wrap them up, and the game is done. And you let them almost, a 50, I think it was a 56, 57, something like that, yard play. Yeah, you deserve the number one choke job. And the reason this is fun for me to give the Saints, like the Saints fans are always bitching about the Vikings, like just complaining, just give it up. We've owned you guys in the playoff the last few years. Since you did that bounty game 2010 and got away with almost trying to rip Brett Favre arms off, we've owned you guys, man. The last two playoff games, we've been here almost on the last play both times. So, Saints fans, give it up. You own the number one choke job for me in recent history, man. It's you guys, LeBron, the Clippers. Top three choke jobs. I'm sorry, I was disappointed in the Clippers, man. That is like you took away some. I wanted the LeBron versus the Clippers matchup. Like we all wanted to see that, and you take away from the sports guys. Like you deserve that. That's okay, but let's move on. NBA playoff, Miami Heat, Boston Celtics. You see what's going on, man. I'm not going to use this to like brag and say I told you guys. I couldn't believe no one listened. But I told you guys, man. I couldn't believe nobody listened. We got a squad. I knew we would